If you're wanting to buy in the new year or even thinking about it, this video is for you. I'm Anya Tidorenko, mortgage broker with Next Gen Mortgages here in BC. Every single year around the same time, I talk to people who say the same thing. They say, I want to buy, but I don't know if it's realistic. I feel behind, or I don't even know where to start. So in this video, I want to walk you through exactly what you need to understand, especially if you're thinking about buying in the new year, and even more so if you're a first-time home buyer in this pretty confusing space called the real estate market. Let me get something straight first. You're not behind, you're just early in the process. The first thing I want to address is mindset. A lot of first-time homebuyers come into the conversation feeling like they've already failed somehow, like they've missed the boat or waited too long. But the truth is, the people who managed to buy a home didn't just wake up one morning and feel magically ready. They just took action and looked for the resources and people to help them guide them through that process. They just knew that they wanted to do something, got really clear on how it works, and then came the confidence. And let me tell you, confidence doesn't come from scrolling listings or guessing numbers. It comes from understanding the process and your position inside of it. Buying a home isn't a moment, it's a sequence of steps. And you know, the fact that you're watching this video already speaks volumes on your ability to take action on what it is you want, because this video alone is going to give you a lot of clarity to the next steps. A pretty common misconception I get is people just hyper focusing on the purchase price. This is a really important number, but there are a couple other variables that are equally as important when considering what you can go out into the market and realistically afford. I hear questions like, what can I afford? How much house can I buy? And these aren't bad questions at all. They're just a little incomplete. Things you should be asking yourself more so are, what's my monthly payment comfort? You know, does that align with my max qualifying power? What's my cash flow gonna be after ownership? I can go to my max qualifying power, but am I taking into account expenses of maintenance and possible other expenses that are associated with owning a property, yard work, snow removal, or even just making sure that you have a rainy day fund and you're not maxing out your budget every single month. And lastly, how ownership fits into your life specifically, not just looking at it generically. Two people could buy the same priced home and have two completely different experiences based on some of the factors we just looked at. So when you start to look at your realistic monthly range, your different down payment options, and your ongoing costs beyond the mortgage, this is where buyers start to feel empowered rather than overwhelmed. I also get asked all the time, how do I know if I'm ready to buy? Well, here's my honest answer. You're never really gonna feel ready. You just become ready through preparation. Here's what actually matters more than being in a perfect situation. Stable income history, having reasonably managed credit, making sure that you have some form of savings or, you know, a reliable down payment source, and of course, the willingness to take action. I've worked with clients that think they're years away, and only after a deep dive into their financial situation, just a few conversations, did we realize that, hey, they're actually ready to buy right now. A couple days later, we have an accepted offer. So depending on what you're looking to create, where you are right now, things can be a lot quicker than you may even think. And on that same front, I've worked with people for over 3.5 years. Initially contacted me thinking that they can buy a house right then and there, but realizing there are things we have to work through and build up to get to where we want to be. Ended up closing the deal 3.5 years later. They're in their forever home, happy as can be. But you know, it's really dependent on where you are in that moment in time to see what you need to do to get to your goal. And it may or may not be what you expect. The key is just knowing which side of the fence you're on. Are you ready to buy right now? Or do you need to work on a few things before you can buy? If you have the thought at all on buying a house in the near future, you should definitely reach out and have a conversation to see exactly where you stand right now. And this is where I might get slightly opinionated, because most first-time homebuyers won't struggle because of a lack of money. It's more or less a lack of information early enough. Here's some mistakes I see all the time. Firstly, waiting till you've found the house of your dreams before talking to a mortgage professional. Second one would be assuming that you need 20% down, even if you're not a first-time homebuyer. That's just not true. Third, thinking that a pre-approval is just a formality that can be skipped. Don't do that. And lastly, letting fear or headlines dictate timing. It's going to be excessively hard to time the top or the bottom of a market. So what you need to focus on is why you're buying that house. The buyers who feel less stressed going through a transaction are the ones that ask questions early, understand their options, and build a plan before emotions get involved. Buying is inherently a very emotional process, but your preparation shouldn't be. Here's the advantage to watching this video and starting your planning around the new year. You're not rushed, you're planning, and you're not reacting to a hot market. You know, this time of year is normally not the hottest time to buy or sell. It's a time that usually gives you a little bit more breathing room, more options, more time to do your due diligence. Also, getting a pre-approval now and reviewing your financial situation can give you time to clean up small credit issues if they exist, or possibly build stronger credit, restructure, or possibly build up more of your down payment savings. Really understand the incentives and programs that apply to you. You know, of course, there's the federal-wide first-time homebuyer incentives, but there's also provincial-wide, and then further down the line, there's municipal first-time homebuyer incentives. So understanding everything that applies to you is really important. And lastly, creating a realistic purchase window, something that isn't just going to maximize your qualifying power, but align with your lifestyle and your overall affordability. Even if you don't buy for the next 6, 12, 18, 24, 36 months, the decisions you make now will determine how smooth or possibly stressful that point in time will be once you decide to pull the trigger and write an offer on a home. Buying a home well is never about speed. It's more about precision and following the outlined steps so you can get to the goal. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Buying a home is not about being fearless. It's about being well informed and prepared. If you're thinking about buying a home anytime in the near future, whether you're confident or confused, there's no better time to have your first conversation than now. It doesn't cost any money for you to become more informed. If you like this video, leave a like and drop a comment. Let me know if you think it's possible to buy a home in the city you live in. And extra points if you let me know which city that is. And of course, I'm the guy that can make this all possible. So if you want to get connected, check out my website, visit me on Instagram, or even leave a comment. I'll definitely respond. So with that being said, have the best day, don't be a statistic, and take action of the goals that you want to achieve.